Portsmouth, USA, a Total Media Group station.
Swinging a high fly ball. They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Holy cow! And there he goes!
It's time to step across the line with James Collier as he takes you inside the octagon of sports. With the latest from the world of sports with scores, interviews, and the hardest-hitting analysis in the business. Let's step into the octagon of sports.
Let's go!
With your host, James Collier.
And welcome into Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network. James Collier, happy to have you along with us here on this Saturday morning as we're going to dive into the college football playoffs. We have the championship matchup set. It was Miami winning over Ole Miss, holding off Ole Miss's final surge in the last part of the ball game, and a dominating performance from Indiana, as they have shown why they are the number one team in all of the land. That sets up for the championship game on Monday, January the 19th. Miami's going to play a home game, and I've talked about this since the playoffs started, that the Hurricanes had an opportunity to play for a national championship on their home field in Hard Rock Stadium in Coral Gables, Florida, if Carson Beck could throw the ball to the correct team, and he has looked the part. The problem of it is that this game almost looks like David versus Goliath with the way that Indiana's playing right now. Indiana took apart Oregon last night. It wasn't even a ball game ever that was even close. So we'll look at the two games, break things down, make our picks of who I think is going to win a national championship. But I mean, it's right now, you're hard-fetched to pick against the way Indiana's playing. But we'll see how it plays out. We'll look into the NFL as the playoffs, the wild card round starts today. Games today, Sunday, and Monday. And then that takes us into the divisional round. And a lot of coaching carousel that's going on. Two big names that found themselves unemployed this past week. One being John Harbaugh from Baltimore. I still think that's a terrible decision. On the other side, Mike McDaniel from Miami, who thought he was safe after Harbaugh was fired from Baltimore. Remarkably, he becomes a coach that's on the hot seat as well and is looking for a job. The big thing is, I think he's already found a landing spot, just not as a head coach. So we'll do that, and we'll have a final Borders Sporting Goods rant of the week a little bit later on the show. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll dig into the college football playoffs. It was a Miami win over Ole Miss as the SEC once again misses out on the national championship game. We'll talk about it when we return after this here on Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network.
Tax season is here, and Borders Sporting Goods has the best deals available to get all your fishing needs ready to go for the upcoming season. Borders features rods and reels from G. Loomis, St. Croix, Fenwick, Lewis, Shimano, Daiwa, and Abu Garcia. No matter what species of fish you are targeting, Borders has the perfect setup to make sure your next trip on the water is a success. Borders has baits in every size and style with a wide selection of tackle from Berkley, Strike King, Zoom, Z-Man, Bandit, and many more. Before hitting the water for your next fishing trip, stop by and stock up at Borders Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical home, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel. My place for the game?
Zach, you never have food.
I'm going to Clark's Pump and Shop. I'm loading up on crispy crunchy chicken, Hanger 54 pizza, and chips.
Well then, I'm in. And way to support the family business.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
At First National Bank, we strive to make every person that walks through our doors feel like family, because to us, you are. For over 120 years, we have lived in and served the families of Kentucky with genuine care through the good times and the bad. Come and see the difference banking with family can truly make for you at any of our 7 locations, or visit our website at www.fnbgrayson.com. First National Bank, member FDIC.
Let's get back inside the octagon of sports with James Collier and Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network and 105.7 WLGC.
Back at Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network as we look into the college football playoffs. It was the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Miami and Ole Miss. Miami a 3-point lead after one quarter of play. They led 17-13 in the locker room. Ole Miss ties things up. No, excuse me. They cut it to 1 after 3 with a field goal. And then Miami holds on down the stretch, 31-27. The big thing was in this ball game was Miami for the first time, again as the 10 seed, they were still the favorite. They opened as a 4-point favorite. The line moved down to, I think it was right at 3 at kickoff. Got them went to 3.5, then it went to 3. And, of course, if you know anything about sports betting, 3 is the most dangerous number in all of college sports. More games have been decided by 3 points than any other point spread that's out there. But the big thing of this game was, what could Miami do by being a favorite? And Carson Beck, once again, rose to the occasion. Beck had 3 total touchdowns in this ballgame, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground, and the one on the ground was huge. Everything was broken down, and he just calmly pulled it down and scampers into the end zone for an easy 6. So that was the big part. He did throw an interception, but again, nothing that really takes you out of position of where this was. And on the backside of it, Trinidad Chambliss had a really good game as well. He throws for 277 yards and a touchdown, which was key for him considering the fact that his appeal for a 6th year by the NCAA was denied. So his draft status certainly is going to be increased with the way that he played not only just in this game, but in the college football playoffs. And the backside of it is, now the question is that do you want to go into the combine and risk undoing any of the things that you've done already? That'll be the big question of what happens with this. But you've heard me talk about this if you've been with us through the college football playoffs from the time that we started this journey, that I said the question would be, which Carson Beck shows up for Miami? And if it's the Carson Beck that can remember which team is his, this guy can lead Miami to a national championship. You look at the Hurricanes, they've got 5 national championships. The first one in 83, won it again in 87, 89, 91, but they haven't won one since 2001. So you're looking at a great opportunity here for Miami to do something that they haven't done in a very long time. The other side is you're looking at Indiana. And this Indiana team, in the 2 years of Kurt Cignetti, has just absolutely taken college football by storm. And, you know, there's no better liners out there in college football than Kurt Cignetti. In his very first press conference, when he says, as he just kind of slouches over the microphone, "I win, Google me." That's all he said. And that has kind of been the way that he approaches stuff. You know, there was a time last year when they got to 10-0, and it was the first time in program history that they got to 10-0, and the reporter said something to him, and he looked at her and said, "Not bad." You know, he's the king of one-liners, and his team has stood tall to the testament of what they've been to. Again, they have not shied away from anything. And you look at this rematch, and we'll talk about this in just a few moments, but a rematch of the matchup they played Oregon in the regular season was much closer than what it was last night. This was a dominating performance by Indiana. And Miami is going to have their hands to the point they have never had to feel this much pressure all season long. Now, the good thing of it is that they had a well-established running attack, which opened up the passing game. Carson Beck throws for 268 yards. As a team, they relied on the running game. 51 carries, 191. Mark Fletcher Jr., 22 totes for 133. Keelan Marion had 7 catches for 114, a touchdown, and Malachi Toney grabbed 5 balls for 81 and a touchdown. And again, it's not about what you consider when you say balanced. 51 rushes to 37 passes, okay? Yeah, they were a little more run heavy. But there's a way to look at balance anymore to where you're balanced with the way of being able to do what you want to do at that moment of the game. And I think that's the key point for what Miami has been able to do in this run through the playoffs. So the big thing is now you're going to be on your home field. You're going to be very familiar with the environment, with the weather, how everything works. And the most important thing is you're not going to have to travel anywhere for the next 10 days. You're going to be at home, ready to go. And I think that gives Miami a little bit of an edge on Indiana. Now, does that give them enough to say, okay, this game is going to be, a foregone conclusion? It's going to be a really, really tight ball game? I don't think so. I've got a personal friend who's the offensive line coach at the University of Miami. We made acquaintances back in his days at Marshall. He went to Oregon, worked with Mario Cristobal, left there, went to Oregon, or from Oregon to Miami with Coach Cristobal, and he's been with him since. And every game I've texted him, great game, Coach. And I want to be able to send him that message, Coach, congratulations on the national championship. I'm going to get a chance to go see him in April, and would love nothing more to let him show me a national championship. But man, right now, you have every single thing stacked against you because Indiana is playing at another level of football. To the point to where I think you could probably take Indiana with the way they're playing and put them on a pedestal that maybe they could go in with some of the really, really bad NFL football teams and probably compete. I don't know that they would beat them, but I think they would compete with them. And that's what makes that team super, super deadly. But heck of a win by Miami. A tough run for Ole Miss. And of course, Ole Miss was trying to do this in spite of Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin leaving, going to LSU. There's been nothing but drama and turmoil going on there. And Ole Miss just trying to keep their head down and driving along. And had it not been for Miami, I would have been totally pulling for Ole Miss. But I'm happy to see the Hurricanes, a 10 seed, by the way, that gets into the national championship game on their home field coming up on Monday, January the 19th. It should be a dandy, but they are certainly going to have their hands full in this one. All right, we'll take a break. We come back. We'll go to game number 2. It was a dominating performance last night with Indiana over Oregon. So dominating, it was never even a game. They were already talking about the national championship game at halftime. That's what's coming up as we continue our coverage here on Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network.
Tax season is here, and Borders Sporting Goods has the best deals available for the avid hunting enthusiast, no matter the need. Borders offers Hoyt and Matthews bows as well as 10-point crossbows with a variety of accessories for all your hunting needs. Borders also offers a full selection of shotguns and rifles with plenty of ammunition and reload supplies, along with Benchmade and case knives. Borders is your headquarters for the largest selection of Liberty gun safes in the area, no matter how big or small you need to keep your firearms safe with layaway and delivery options available. Stop by and stock up at Borders Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel. My place for the game?
Zach, you never have food.
I'm going to Clark's Pump and Shop. I'm loading up on crispy crunchy chicken, Hanger 54 pizza, and chips.
Well then, I'm in. And way to support the family business.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical homes, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
At First National Bank, we strive to make every person that walks through our doors feel like family, because to us, you are. For over 120 years, we have lived in and served the families of Kentucky with genuine care through the good times and the bad. Come and see the difference banking with family can truly make for you at any of our 7 locations, or visit our website at www.fnbgrayson.com. First National Bank, member FDIC.
Your Tri-State weather forecast is brought to you by the free Total Media app. Take us everywhere you go. All the music, all the sports, and all the fun right in the palm of your hand. Just search for the Total Media app in your app store today.
This morning, it'll stay wet with steady rain throughout the day with afternoon highs near 58. Heading into this evening, we'll see the rain taper off early with clouds breaking late and lows near 31. And to look ahead to Sunday, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds throughout the day with afternoon highs near 36.
This is Across the Line with James Collier on the Total Media Sports Network and 105.7 WLGC.
Back here inside the Octagon on the Total Media Sports Network as we talk college football playoffs, 56-22. I mean, this was absolute domination in every facet of the game. It was 14-7 after one quarter, and then Indiana goes 21-0 in the second for a 35-7 lead at halftime. They were already talking about Indiana-Miami at the break. That's how much this was out of reach. And to look at the way that this game played out over two teams that played earlier this year, Indiana only was favored in this game by 3 points by the time the game went open. It opened at 4, it finished at 3. The over-under on this game was 48.5. Indiana covered that on themselves. And it was just absolute pure domination. Your Heisman Trophy winner, Fernando Mendoza, 17 of 20, 5 touchdowns. He only threw for 177 yards. Now, what that tells you is the fact that Indiana had a grand total of 362 offensive yards. They ran 60 plays. On the other side, Oregon, about 378 looks like on 66 plays. Okay? So it wasn't like we were playing on long fields and everybody was having to go and drive 80, 85, 90 yards for touchdowns. That was not the case in this game. But the basic fact of it was that Fernando Mendoza looks like he's throwing on air right now. This guy is phenomenal. And the crazy thing of it is he's going to go to a really bad NFL team and he's going to probably turn into just a plain Jane mediocre quarterback. Call it what it is. You see this happen so many times where you have these good college quarterbacks that end up in really crappy systems, a.k.a. the New York Jets, the New York Giants, the Los Angeles Raiders, or I guess I'd say the Las Vegas Raiders now, excuse me. Those are all three potentials. The question is, do the Raiders use the overall number 1 pick on Fernando Mendoza? I think a lot of people agree that it's probably going to happen. And unless Las Vegas, 1, gets a really high caliber coach, and 2, gets some very high quality caliber offensive linemen, Fernando Mendoza is going to be playing for his life every single game. You look at these quarterbacks that come out of college and they're studs. And then they go to these teams that suck in the NFL and their careers just dwindle away to nothing. You've heard me talk all season long. This was the year that Trevor Lawrence had to make a statement. Well, Trevor Lawrence finally got a head coach that knew how to work with him. Jacksonville got some really good pieces through the draft. They brought some guys in, and all of a sudden, they're the number 3 seed in the AFC playoffs, in the upcoming playoffs that starts today. Another big one that's out there is Bryce Young. This guy was written off. He was gone. Done, be gone. And gets in with a good coaching staff. They bring in some great support staff. And all of a sudden, Carolina backs themselves into the playoffs. Now, we're not talking about Carolina and Jacksonville in the same conversation. Jacksonville had a really good season. Carolina is an 8-9 team that is going to play host, by the way, to a game in the first round, to a team that has a better record than them. But you take those 2 guys, though, and put them on better teams that gave them opportunities to learn from someone in front of them, not go directly in and have to become that guy right now. And you wonder how different their careers may have been. I think this is the case for Fernando Mendoza. Mendoza is going to go to one of the 3 teams of the Raiders, the Giants, and the Jets. And when he goes in, he's going to be expected to be the dude. And I don't know that this guy can go into the NFL and be the dude behind a bad offensive line. We'll see how it plays out. The biggest thing with Indiana right now, and I think with the numbers that I was talking about, this says so much. They had the 2 running backs. Keelan Black carried the ball 12 times for 63 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. Roman Hembley, 17 carries for 53. They had 1 guy that caught 7 passes for 75. It was Elijah Sarrett. He had 2 touchdowns. Everybody else, the most they caught was 3 passes or less. Omar Cooper, 3 catches for 17, a touchdown. E.J. Williams, 1 catch, a touchdown. Indiana is not a team of superstars. They are a football team. And Kirk Herbstreit was talking about this during the Miami Ole Miss game and was saying these teams and these coaches need to stop chasing after a roster full of 5 stars, because 5 stars are not going to get you a championship. A team that is full of talent, that plays as a team, a.k.a. Indiana, is what's going to get you a championship. And Indiana is 4 quarters of a football away from winning their first ever national championship in program history. They've never won a national championship. They've never even been relevant for the most part. They were the whipping post of the Big Ten. And right now, they're 1 win away from a 16-0 season, and what is arguably going to be the biggest moment in that program's history. Indiana used to be a basketball school, and all of a sudden, they're a football school and a football powerhouse. This game, again, Oregon, Dante Moore throws 2 touchdowns, 285 yards, but Indiana capitalized on every mistake that Oregon made and just came away with opportunities that gave them chances to build up on the Oregon mistakes. You look at Oregon, and Dan Lanning was talking about this before the game, in their press conference earlier in the week. The big thing he said, takeaways are going to be huge. He said we were on the wrong side of the takeaway number when we played this game back in the regular season, week 6. Well, in this game, more throws and interception. They had two fumbles that were lost. That's -3. Indiana, no turnovers. They had 2 fumbles, but they recovered both of those. Mendoza doesn't throw interceptions. When you are -3 in the turnover battle, that's not a good night. I don't care what level of football you're playing. Whether you're playing JFL ball or you're playing for a national championship. If you're -3, typically that night, it's a bad night at the office. And that explains a lot of things of why Indiana's numbers, while 56 points jumps out at you and say, well, they had to go for 450, 500 yards. And yet they didn't even break 400. There's your answer. I think the game with Indiana and Miami is going to be a really good football game for about 2.5 quarters. But Indiana right now is playing at such a high level. And it's just, can Miami ride this magic carpet ride one final time as it's David versus Goliath, and in their home stadium somehow come away with a victory and their 6th national championship? I mean, how big of a storybook ending would that be? I mean, you look at their 2 losses. They lost against Louisville at home, 24-20, and they lost at SMU, 26-20. That was the loss, by the way, that nearly derailed their entire season. And everybody coming in when they were going to put out the 12 teams that were going to get into the college football playoffs, and the question becomes Notre Dame, Miami. And you put those 2 teams together and you look at what they did. And at the beginning of the season, Notre Dame was ranked 6th and Miami beat them 27-24. So, there was a lot of questions like Miami doesn't deserve to be in this. It should have been Notre Dame. It shouldn't have been close. Here we are. You've got Miami playing for a national championship. And by the way, Miami has not had anything that what you would call a cakewalk through this thing. They went to College Station and beat Texas A&M, number 7, by the way, who had 1 loss on the season. Then they played Ohio State, beat Ole Miss, and now they're playing Indiana. So they've taken down a team that, by the way, if they had not lost to Texas, probably would have been the number 3 team in the college football playoffs in Texas A&M. They went to Texas A&M and got the victory. And then you take down Ohio State, the defending national champion. Indiana, on the other side, beat up on Alabama and then beats up on Oregon. Indiana's games have been blowouts. So you have to think of the one question. If Miami can keep this a close game, I'm not talking about a close game, I'm talking about 7 to 10 points into the second half, how much pressure does that put on Indiana? If any. But this is going to be a really fun matchup to watch when these 2 teams get together in just a little bit over a week. All right, let's step out for a break. Over to the NFL we'll go next. We'll look at the playoffs that's upcoming and a couple of head coaches that are now looking for jobs after finding themselves on the chopping block. That's as we continue the coverage here on Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network.
Tax season is here, and Borders Sporting Goods has the best deals available for the avid hunting enthusiast, no matter the need. Borders offers Hoyt and Matthews bows as well as 10-point crossbows with a variety of accessories for all your hunting needs. Borders also offers a full selection of shotguns and rifles with plenty of ammunition and reload supplies, along with Benchmade and case knives. Borders is your headquarters for the largest selection of Liberty gun safes in the area, no matter how big or small you need to keep your firearms safe with layaway and delivery options available. Stop by and stock up at Borders Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel. My place for the game?
Zach, you never have food.
I'm going to Clark's Pump and Shop. I'm loading up on crispy crunchy chicken, Hanger 54 pizza, and chips.
Well then, I'm in. And way to support the family business.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical home, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
At First National Bank, we strive to make every person that walks through our doors feel like family, because to us, you are. For over 120 years, we have lived in and served the families of Kentucky with genuine care through the good times and the bad. Come and see the difference banking with family can truly make for you at any of our 7 locations, or visit our website at www.fnbgrayson.com. First National Bank, member FDIC.
This is Across the Line with James Collier on the Total Media Sports Network and 105.7 WLGC.
Back here on Across the Line as we dive into the NFL, and the playoffs are set. Let's take a look at the way the playoffs look for the moment, and then we'll break down what we have and who is there. In the AFC, the Denver Broncos got the number 1 seed with the tiebreaker with the New England Patriots. So the Broncos are the 1 seed, and the AFC, as long as the Broncos continue to win, goes through Denver. The Patriots are the 2 seed, so they can play at home through the AFC Championship game up to this AFC Championship game, I should say, unless Denver loses, which then the AFC Championship game would go to New England. But if it's Denver and New England in the AFC Championship, that game would play in Denver. So the Patriots will entertain the Chargers Sunday night at 8 o'clock. The other AFC games, Sunday at 1, number 3 Jacksonville will play host to number 6 Buffalo. Jacksonville is a 1.5 favorite in that one. And then on Monday Night Football, you get number 4 Pittsburgh that'll entertain number 5 Houston. Houston, a 3-point favorite in this one. And again, that game with Baltimore and Pittsburgh, I think we're having the same conversation that we're having with Baltimore right now, with John Harbaugh being out. Except had Baltimore won that football game, we're in that same conversation with Pittsburgh looking for a head coach and Mike Tomlin being gone. However, Pittsburgh finds a way to get the victory. So in the AFC, the way it will work is after you play the 3 games that play in the AFC, the lowest remaining team will go to Denver. Then the other 2 teams will play each other in the divisional round. I like the Patriots over the Chargers in this one. Patriots are 3.5-point favorite. I think Buffalo will beat Jacksonville. Again, Buffalo is a really, really good football team. And again, some things that, maybe off the charts a little bit there midway through the season. A lot of injuries that they had to deal with. They've gotten healthy. Jacksonville, this is the first time they've been in this stage since back in the middle 20-teens. I like Buffalo to get this victory. However, I would not be shocked if Jacksonville comes through. Jacksonville is a good football team. Their defense, though, kind of, if you're a Jacksonville team, has to scare you a little bit. But can Trevor Lawrence be that guy that steps to the forefront? On the other side of things, Pittsburgh and Houston, Houston's defense is ridiculous. I think they're one of the best defenses in the NFL. However, they got lit up against the Colts last week, And this was while the starters were still out there. Now, when they got to halftime and they realized that there was no chance of them being able to move forward and get a higher seed than what they were getting, they started resting everybody. Okay? But the Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, they will get DK Metcalf back this week. He's served his 2-game suspension now. But can they find a way to get a victory? I love Texas' defense. And I'm glad that Houston, Texas, are not coming to New England in that first game. So, my picks right now in the divisional round, the highest seed remaining will be Buffalo. And I think Buffalo's going to go to Denver and play in that one. And then Houston is going to come to New England. And hopefully in a snow game. Now, over to the NFC. The Seattle Seahawks are the number 1 seed. And Sam Darnold is a guy that is become the Seattle darling, by the way of somehow Minnesota saying, we're done with you, just be gone. And what did he do? He went to Seattle and led his team all the way to the number 1 seed in the NFC. Now, here's the games that we'll play. 2 games today. The first one at 4:30. Panthers will entertain the Los Angeles Rams. The Panthers are 8-9. The Rams had a chance to be the number 1 seed. That's how messed up this is. The Rams are a 10.5-point favorite in this ballgame. This game will be a blowout. Matthew Stafford, an MVP season. Again, Matthew Stafford, Drake May. Of course, I would love to see Drake May get the MVP, but Matthew Stafford has had one heck of a year. The question to me, though, is that if you take Matthew Stafford and put him on New England, and you put Drake May and put him on the Rams, what do you see in the differences there? And I think you see Matthew Stafford not as crisp as what he's been with the Rams, throwing the ball to Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. You've got Kyron Williams in the backfield. You've got so many options there. Tyler Higbee, their big tight end. Now, on the other side, you look at New England, you've got Stephon Diggs that's had a remarkable season this year. You've got Travion Henderson in the backfield, the rookie. Ramondre Stevenson has looked much better in the second half of the season. And just a bunch of guys out there that's really no names that people don't know. And every week, it's a different guy. I think Matthew Stafford wins the MVP. I think Drake May is fittingly in that conversation with a very close second. But I think Matthew Stafford gets it. All right, our second game today, number 2, Chicago, playing host to the number 7, Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers started off the season, and what it looked like was going to be the most dominant team in football. And now here they are, the 7 seed, limping in to the playoffs. The question becomes, how healthy is Jordan Love? That's priority number 1. Number 2, when the Packers lost Micah Parsons, they became a whole different football team, defensively. Because Micah Parsons drew at least a double team every single time. Sometimes triple team. As soon as he got injured and was removed from that defensive line, defensively, teams were no longer looking offensively at what they had to do to combat him. And it changes the way that you approach the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are favored in this game. Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, that first year as a head coach there in Chicago, previous offensive coordinator in Detroit, has really found the niche between those two guys. I like the Bears in this one. Yes, I know Green Bay is probably a more mature team. I'm not sold on Caleb Williams yet, but I think the Bears have found something, and I think that something's Ben Johnson. Give me the Bears in this one. The 4:30 game on Sunday, number 3 Eagles, number 6 49ers. The 49ers got spanked in the final regular season game at home. They had a chance to be the number 1 seed all the way to the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl will be in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara this year, the home of the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles also had an opportunity to clinch the 2 seed, But instead, Nick Sirianni decided to rest his guys, and therefore the Eagles became the 3 seed. So, of course, you have to win this week. But the difference in the 2 and the 3 is if you win this week and the Bears win, you're on the road instead of playing at home. How big is that? I think this is a decision that depends on how this plays out, that Nick Sirianni could find himself in the unemployment line if this goes sideways and the San Francisco 49ers knock off the Philadelphia Eagles, who are favored by 6 points, by the way. I think the Eagles will take care of business. The 49ers are still beaten up badly offensively. And the fact of it is that Brock Purdy just does not seem to be able to rise to the occasion when it's a big game. So my picks in the NFC, give me the Rams by 1 million, give me the Eagles by 3, and give me the Bears by 3. So that way, if that plays out, we're going to get Rams, Seahawks in the wild card, or in the divisional round, and then you'll get Eagles at the Bears in the second game. I like Denver and New England in the AFC Championship game. And then on the other side, give me the Seahawks and give me the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. I'm going to go, of course, you know where this is going. Give me the Patriots, give me the Seahawks in a rematch of that Super Bowl that the Butler did it. Can the Patriots win it if they get there? I don't know. But, man, how big would that be for that team in the first year under Mike Vrabel to get themselves all the way to the big dance and play for a Super Bowl title? That would be epic in its. Again, Patriots haven't won a Super Bowl in 7 years. Super Bowl 53 was the last time it happened. It's time for the Pats to do another one. 7 years away. They can get it done this year. All right, we'll take our final break, and when we come back, it's going to be one final Border Sporting Goods rant of the week. That's what we continue here on Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network.
Tax season is here, and Borders Sporting Goods has the best deals available to get all your fishing needs ready to go for the upcoming season. Borders features rods and reels from G. Loomis, St. Croix, Fenwick, Lewes, Shimano, Daiwa, and Abu Garcia. No matter what species of fish you are targeting, Borders has the perfect setup to make sure your next trip on the water is a success. Borders has baits in every size and style with a wide selection of tackle from Berkley, Strike King, Zoom, Z-Man, Bandit, and many more. Before hitting the water for your next fishing trip, stop by and stock up at Borders Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical home, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel. My place for the game?
Zach, you never have food.
I'm going to Clark's Pump and Shop. I'm loading up on crispy crunchy chicken, Hanger 54 pizza, and chips.
Well then, I'm in. And way to support the family business.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
At First National Bank, we strive to make every person that walks through our doors feel like family, because to us, you are. For over 120 years, we have lived in and served the families of Kentucky with genuine care through the good times and the bad. Come and see the difference banking with family can truly make for you at any of our 7 locations, or visit our website at www.fnbgrayson.com. First National Bank, member FDIC.
I'm Paul Stevens. A mass shooting in Mississippi has reportedly killed at least 6 people. A suspect is in custody. More anti-ICE protests planned over the weekend following the deadly shooting this week of a woman by an ICE agent in Minneapolis.
Protesters blocking traffic, harassing federal agents who fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd to break things up. The feds installed new fencing and brought in concrete barriers.
That's Fox's Garrett Tenney. U.S. diplomats in Venezuela after the ouster of dictator Nicolas Maduro.
It could be the first step towards resuming regular relations with Venezuela, which had been suspended since 2019. The U.S. military conducted another seizure of an oil tanker allegedly transporting sanctioned Venezuelan oil. This is the fifth such vessel.
Fox's Evan Brown. The U.S. hoping to reopen its Caracas embassy. America's listening to Fox News.
Sports scores, interviews, and more. This is Across the Line with James Collier on the Total Media Sports Network and 105.7 WLDC.
Back here on Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network. So, a little bit of an announcement for me in this segment. But before I get to that point, Border Sporting Goods has been a great supporter of my show all the way through. And, they jumped on board when I brought the Border Sporting Goods rant of the week in, I think 4 or 5 years ago. But Brad and the gang's always been so great to me, and I can't thank them enough for being a supporter of my show all the way from Let's Talk Sports into now Across the Line. But for me, there's been some stuff that I've been dealing with and on a personal level and as well as a professional level. And, I'm always been a person that I always want to put 100% into everything that I do. And when I get to the point to where I can't put 100% in or just don't have the drive or the will to be that 100%, to me that's the sign that it's time to step away. And for me, that's where I am at this moment. So this is going to be my last show. A show that I've been doing for 10 years. I've recorded and broadcast over 500 shows, which is crazy to think when I started doing the numbers. Did a show every week for 52 weeks. So, it's crazy to think about all of the stuff that's in there, all the great times that I've had, all the memories that I've covered, the joys, the tears, the laughter, the sadness. It's all been a great ride. But for me, it's time. It's the right time for me to step away and call it a great run with a show that I think has found its kind of end point. At least for me, it has. So, the big thing that I leave you with my final rant. I've always been a big proponent of, try to leave things better than you find them. And in our society, that's something that I've been a big talker about is, how screwed up our freaking society is on a daily basis and just how depressing it can totally be. But there's still those good signs out there that there is hope with our society. You got to dig a little deeper sometimes to find that stuff that's out there that trumps all the crap that we hear on a normal daily basis. So rather than continuing always finding the drama and the bad stuff, sandwich yourself around things that bring you joy and happiness, things that mean something to you, and let the bad things drift away. And for me, that's where I am right now. It's time to think about what works best for me, and is going to get me back to that Zen space of being happy. And that's what I'm looking forward to as I move forward. This is not the end of my journey as far as sports and broadcasting. I will still be doing games and stuff from there. But as far as the show, again, it's time for me to step aside and call this journey an end. So I want to thank all of my great sponsors that's been with me throughout the entirety of the show from when I started this journey back in 2016 until we wrap up this final show here. I got to say a big thanks to my producer, Dwayne Elliott, who's been with me the entire way. Dwayne and I have shared so many laughs and gigging on him and funny moments that we would have in the studio back when it was Let's Talk Sports, and talking with people on the phone lines and getting people tangled up and him getting tangled up. And but Dwayne's been with me the entire way as well, and I greatly appreciate everything that he's done in the time that we've been together here on the show. So, guys, again, thank you for joining me and being with me throughout this time. I certainly hope that you've enjoyed the show as much as I have, and I wish you nothing but the best in whatever your endeavors are as you guys move forward through. And again, as my final rant says, find the positives in your life, stay away from the negatives, and try to make society a better place. That's the final Border Sporting Goods rant of the week. That'll do it. That is the final show for me here with the Total Media Sports Network. So one final time, for Dwayne Elliott, I'm James Collier. So long, everyone.
You've been listening to Across the Line with James Collier.